For St. Patrick's Day, I hope you don't drink in the sun like I'm working out in the sun, because I'm gonna get ripped, and if you drink in the sun, you're gonna be dehydrated, and hydration is super important for good work. Good morning. It's Saturday, and I'm gonna try and do a chill vlog today. I'm actually gonna go have lunch with Pauline, relax, not do much of anything, but I wanted to talk with you a little bit about a few things, and I'm also trying out the selfie cam on this phone to see if that helps with the microphone problems. Not sure if it will or not, and I hate using selfie cams in general, but we'll just see how this turns out. What I wanted to talk about were a couple of details about the game, as well as reflect a little bit on the changes in my life in general in the last year, the last 6 months, and how good and crazy things have really been. Completely unexpected. And also, this Porsche is parked backwards on the street. That's minus 10 points for that guy. But I mean, I guess I just want to see him pull out of there without causing an accident. But might as well do the housekeeping part first. The two details about the game that I wanted to highlight. One, meetups. I'm hiding like all my meetups this year. The plan is to hide them in the game. So in order to find them, you got to play the game. How do you find them while you're playing the game? If you go into the waypoints, you can ask them when and where the game is, and they might be able to tell you something. We'll see. For those of you that are already in town, there is going to be a meetup next week. And generally when I'm in Paris, I'm going to try and have a meetup every week for like the foreseeable future. But I'm curious, if you're in Paris right now and you want to come to a meetup this following week, let me know how that goes. Go into some waypoints, ask them about it, and we'll see how they're doing on that. This is, again, we're kind of figuring things out as we go, testing it, seeing how the communication works, how the participation works with the waypoints. So test it out for me, and I guess if you show up, we know it works, and if you can't show up, well, maybe I'll do a last minute like hint somewhere just to make sure that, you know, you can figure it out. The second thing is Mapster, the two M's of the details today. I'm looking for Pauline, I don't know where she is. On the Mapster accounts, just to note that I've got two. I have one, maybe she's over on this side. I'm just checking all the entrances at the Enfant Rouge. One is for the game and one is for my patrons. The one that's for the game, you just look up the game without the arrobas or the @ symbol. That's just links. So you just look up the game. You should be able to find it. And of course, if you're a patron, there are some extra, I'll link to the post that I just made today. There's a few little bonuses for you in my Patreon Mapster if you're looking for a couple of extra clues. I don't know where she is. I finally found her. Didn't take too long, but we had couscous and a cookie, and it was pretty glorious. Anyways, walking back now to get back to work. I want to sit on my computer for the rest of the day and try to get caught up on a whole bunch of stuff. It's nice to have a little bit more of a relaxing day. I know it sounds weird, like a relaxing work day, but reducing the pressure, being able to I have a lot on my plate that I want to get done, and when I'm making videos, going wandering through like tunnels under Paris, like you just don't have time. Just don't have time. The other thing I was gonna say was that, what was I gonna say? Oh, I believe, if this is the case, I'm gonna link to it below. If it's not, then I'm just gonna cut this part out. But we talked about the meetups, we talked about the Mapster. Did I have a third M I wanted to talk about? How about my sanity? It's really pretty crazy to think how much my life has changed in the last couple of years. We've talked about that at various points, but what I ended up writing about today on Patreon is something that's really, really true, and that's like this entire experience, the creation of this game, the ability to throw myself at some creative projects that require a lot of time and energy. I mean, this has taken a ton, if you think about it. I had to develop a website and go have all these meetings with all these different waypoints and get them to sign stuff, and actually had to create something they could sign. I had to make like a legal contract, and then I had to get that translated, and there's just tons and tons of work that goes into it for an idea that, you know, I have some longer term plans, big steps that I want to take along the way to get to some bigger goals as we go. Sorry, it's a selfie cam. I don't even really know what I'm doing with this thing. And all that's only possible because I've gotten to a place right now where this is like my job. Like doing the YouTube stuff is obviously where the center of it, the core of it, but thank you so much to my patrons for making it possible for me to focus on this, to focus on, you know, being able to try and open Paris up and to pursue a fun project in Paris and to take the time to really drill down and try to make something new. It's a kind of freedom that can only come with the support that my patrons give me, and so I'm really deeply grateful to them. Of course, I'm grateful to Pauline, who's so I had lunch today. She's my lawyer friend, who went over the contract both in English and in French to make sure that it was all good. To Laura for translating, doing the rough translation of that from English to French. And to my sister, of course, for doing all these really fun designs that I'm so excited to have both in sticker form, and then we'll see what other kind of forms we put them in as we go. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that's happening. I'm really, really grateful to everybody that's been involved so far. I know that there will be other people that are involved as we go. Really thankful to the Waypoints for being a part of it at all, for being excited to be a part of it. Just a really cool time. A lot of this reflection actually came from the fact that I was looking at my goals. I'm about to cross another goal on Patreon, or it feels very close. Maybe it'll happen next month. It could happen this month, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I've had a couple moments to reflect back. One of the things that I've been able to reflect on is the fact that I have all this time, like we were talking about. I'm so fortunate to be able to like drop the side work that I've been doing for so long and really focus on things that I'm passionate about. Very fortunate for that. And how when I originally set up my Patreon for one of my writing projects, and then as that kind of changed and I realized it wasn't going to work, I changed it. And after some alterations, really revised it to be directed towards my vlog. How like I sat down and I was making like what $150 a month or something on Patreon, and I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna set new goals. I'm really gonna set like what I think are ultimately reasonable goals, but I'm gonna set like the bar pretty high. I'm gonna set it beyond what I think is even really possible at the moment. And how we've gone from this like impossibility where I never thought we'd make it to the final goals. Not that I didn't believe that I could make it or that it would happen, but just seemed so far out of reach and so beyond the realm of reality to being within striking distance of those goals. It's nuts that transition has happened and how fortunate I am. And so that's one of the things that I've definitely been reflecting on. And again, even more so, hey there, bedpost. And again, even more so as I'm able to really dive in and spend a lot of time and energy on something that, you know, might not work, but hopefully brings a lot of value to those of you that watch, to lots of people, you know, potentially to nobody, but yeah, there's no way to know until it's too late. But it's okay. Like I have the room to make some attempts at something, to fail at something, and to learn from it and grow. And I'm really, really grateful for that. So that's what I'm reflecting on today. I'm going to get back to work on my computer here for a little bit. I think I'm probably going to stream tonight because, I mean, there's a temptation to go out and see some friends tonight, but I also am really tempted to just stay here and then go to bed. I slept really well. I think I got like 9 hours, 10 hours of sleep last night. I'm going to try and do that again tonight. And yeah, try to hit the ground running when the week comes. There's some really cool stuff happening this week. I'm going to introduce you to some photographers who do photo tours here in Paris. So for those of you who've been asking, a lot of you have been asking for like family portraits and couples portraits and photography stuff, whatever. I'm hopefully going to have a good connection for you here very soon that are also going to be in the game, so there's a double benefit there, as well as a couple of other really fun things this week. So it's going to be a really fun, busy week, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to get to it now. The finishing this up, I still have to edit this, work for a little bit, and then rest, but I'm going to get some rest in. It should be good. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend wherever it is you are, and I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for yet more wonderful, lazy-ish days in Paris. Adios.